And the bad news is the newspapers have jumped all over this Sam Walker situation, and traditional journalists and newspapers are fucking parasites, as we know. So I'm going to just talk about the different situations that different sources have said. This is getting really techie now with some serious names getting involved. So I'm just stating here, I'm not giving any opinion on the situation. I'm just talking about what has been reported. Right. So we'll start off with the newspaper reports. I did say I was going to make a part 2 of my first video, which did really, really well. So this is the follow-up. The newspaper reports are, you've had like the Manchester Evening News, the Liverpool Echo, I think, the Mail. There's been a few different ones. And basically, I think one newspaper ran with a story and then all of them just basically copied the story that the first one printed, because you know what they do. No original journalism is ever done. But it's taken away from all the creators that are making videos about it and stuff like that, because newspapers just suck the life out of the small creator. Anyway, the newspapers are reporting that they're to do with, a few people have said the same thing in comments and stuff like that. There's been other videos made about it, that Sam Walker made a video out that was like, maybe not taking a mickey, but a little bit derogatory, outside a bar where 2 Scottish men, gangsters, were assassinated basically during the Champions League final. And obviously, as retribution for Sam doing the TikTok video there, they basically obviously sent people out to get him previously after. So that's that report. I've seen a lot of people saying that in the comments, but Sam is denying it. It's not the story that Tintin's said, and it's not the story that Darren G has said. So I don't really see how that could possibly be the situation. It may well be, I don't know, but everyone involved in it's sort of saying it's not that. So who knows? The version of events that Sam Walker is actually saying himself, which personally I don't believe it, but I don't know if he's said it to sort of not be sweetgrassing on anyone or whatever, which does make sense, doesn't want to implicate anyone in the situation and just wants to be out of it, or if he has been told this by his friends or whatever else, and where he's had the head injury and he can't remember what's actually happened to him. This could be it. So just going to say, Sam Walker's condition looks like it's definitely improving, and although he's scarred and everything else, it's good to see that he is getting his speech better and seems to be remembering a bit better and stuff like that. He's still nowhere near 100%, but it's nice to see that he's not going to be sort of permanent. It's obviously damaged his brain, but he's not going to be permanently disabled, which is a worry, always a worry in a situation like that. So Sam Walker's saying that he was beaten by police in Africa, and he was in hospital in Africa, and then they sort of sent him over to Spain, and then he started getting his phone back, and then he started recording the treatment. Although it doesn't really seem to add up, because he had when he first got sent to hospital, when he was bleeding and everything, in the thumbnail picture, he said he was in Spain, and it doesn't add up with anything that anyone else has said. But I can understand why he's saying that, if he is saying that by purpose, to just sort of take himself away from the bad situation. Tintin is saying that it happened in Figueroa in Marbella on the strip. The whole story about, we went to get some kebabs, lad, and I got out the car and I went to get the kebabs. You know, my Scouse is terrible. Sorry, anyone from Liverpool watching this, sorry. So Tintin's gone to get the kebabs and come back, and Sam Walker's in a terrible state. It is pretty believable what Tintin's saying, because he's got stuff like Sam Walker's car key, Sam Walker's passport, and he was definitely with Sam Walker previously to the attack and stuff like that, because they were sort of knocking about together. So that's definitely pretty believable what Tintin has said. And Sam Walker has actually come back after and said that he had Tintin attacked. He had something done to Tintin, and Tintin himself has now got, Tintin has now got head injuries himself anyway. So I don't know if that's true or that's not, but that's just what Sam Walker's saying, because they've been going back and forth, biting at each other on Instagram and saying that they're not friends anymore after 12 years and this, that and the other. It showed a little lack of class how Tintin went about it all, considering Sam Walker was in a bad way in hospital and Tintin seemed to be just sort of trying to put him down and all that rest of it. Could have just sort of left it at the time, or just sort of come out with what he thought was the truth and not started digging Walker out at the time. But you know, he's just looking to get a bit of notoriety and probably have a bit of chew with someone online or whatever else. So yeah, bad way to do it, but can sort of understand it. And the last option that I've seen is what Darren G had said all along, that it was something to do with him and Tinhead were trying to set up shop selling party substances and balloons in Marbella, and they were warned by some Spanish firms to stay out of it and not to set up shop there, and they did anyway. They went to go and meet someone for that reason, and the guys attacked Sam Walker with a golf club, and this is the result. The only thing that sticks through all of the stories, except for Sam Walker's, is the golf club. So I said I wasn't too sure. It could have been any blunt object, or it could have even been a knife, seeing from the damage that was left, like a big knife sort of chopped him or whatever. But it's pretty apparent now that it was actually a golf club that it was hit with, because even the newspaper articles are going with golf club. So resounding golf club. Yeah, so they're the difference. Oh, there's been one other that I've seen. I've seen this quite regularly throughout the comments as well, that apparently Sam Walker had uploaded a TikTok shortly before, and they were abusing some Scottish women or being very rude to some Scottish women, which then again ties into the whole thing with the Scots. I don't know whether they were connected to a firm or something like that, and this is a result. I don't know, but something to do with the two Scottish men that him and I think Tinhead were being very horrible to on their TikTok live, and then down the line, in so facto, this has happened. So whether it was connected to that or not, that's for your decision. Like I said in the first video, like I said earlier on today, it's nice to see that Sam is making a better recovery. I didn't wish any harm on him at all. I don't wish any harm on anyone, and I hoped that this would be a sort of wake-up call for him, because if you play silly games, you win silly prizes, and crime doesn't pay. You end up badly injured, disabled, dead, in prison, or a drug addict, and it's as simple as that. So you know, he's at the minute trying to make a plea bargain to get let back into the UK, or some sort of bargaining, because he's had warrants out in the UK, one for releasing the information of a PDF file involved with the Jamie Bolger case, and I can't think what the other one was for, but nothing too serious. But obviously he's done a lot of time in jail. The only thing I will say with that is he's done nothing but over the years take the piss out of the police, the CPS, prisons, screws, shit all over them, escape from them, having them chase him around and this, that and the other. The Spanish police didn't arrest him in the hospital when it all happened. They just sort of questioned him about what happened, and they said they've not extradited him or whatever. They didn't have a European extradition order for that crime. But I just can't imagine that the police in the UK are going to want to make a bargain with him after all of his antics before. But I may be wrong, you know, that's just my opinion on it. Anyway, boys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for how my last few videos have done, especially the one about Sam Walker. It did phenomenally, and I've had a good response since then, a lot of subs. So don't forget to sub, like, and let me know what you think. Which one do you believe out of these? And do you think that he will get back into the UK? Adios, la bosh.